Hello everyone, and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is November the 14th, 2024. And as you can see, we have a visitor here today who stopped by to say hello. He wanted a little bit of loving. We know he won't stay very long. And the other thing I have to tell you is, here we are. Here is Kiki. Yes, I found Kiki's dress. It was right over there in plain sight on top of this storage unit I have that to me looks like a very, very, very tall birdhouse. And it was draped across the peak so I would have it ready for November. And I'm looking at it and not even seeing it. So Kiki's fine. I don't have to make another dress. And I'm going to put, oops, I can't reach up there with him in my lap. After he goes, maybe I'll put it up there. It's a little higher than it used to be. So, for those of you that are new, I'm all about crochet, obviously. And the other thing I like to talk about a lot is yarn. And the yarn I talk about is hand-dyed yarn. And particularly from Canadian indie dyers right now, with the exchange rate being so high, I'm trying to spend the money locally because of just the exchange rate's unreal. So I'm coming to you, I have to remember this. I'm coming to you from southwestern Ontario, and I want to welcome anybody that's new. I hope you will enjoy what you see, and before you leave, that you will give me a thumbs up and even possibly subscribe. And of course, a very warm welcome to all my returning viewers. I always appreciate all your comments. I do read them all. And if ever there's a time, because this happened this past week, if ever there's a time that I have not replied to you, you might want to double check to see if your comment is still there. Because I had one of my viewers get in touch with me through another method. In a messenger or an email and say she left a comment, but when she didn't hear from me, which she knows is very uncommon, she went and looked, her comment was not there. She made a comment again and again waited and checked later, and the comment was not there. So then she actually sent me a personal note to tell me, yes, she had commented and she wanted me to know she'd commented. Apparently she tried one more time and the comment did get through to me and I could reply to her. So if you think I have missed you or I'm ignoring you, that's not the case. You might want to double check and just see if the comment is there, because if it's not there, it means I didn't get it, because I do reply to every comment. So what are you going to say? What do you have to say to all of your adoring fans, sir? Do you know you have lots of fans out there? Yeah, my lap slopes a bit, so I don't think it's the most comfortable for him. Next thing we want to talk about is what am I wearing? And I don't know the name of the pattern, but I'll hold it up so you can see it. I am positive it is a CJ Brady pattern. It's just a long, narrow scarf, you might call it. There he goes, leaving behind all kinds of hair. and it makes a little bit of a lacy edge. I'm some of you I think have made this, but I can't remember the name of it. So if you know, please make a comment down below as to what pattern that is. I like CJ Brady patterns. So, and the yarn is probably a shimmer sparkle from EFA. I can't swear to it. It's a black sparkle. I think you can see all those sparkles. So now we can put Kiki up here where she belongs. There we go with my menagerie. Finished objects. You know, I was almost finished last week, and here it is, finished so you can see it, ready to go into one of my storage bins for the craft show that is coming up in just a couple of days. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Very plain, all double crochets except for this row where I did open 2 rows and open 1 row, but the rest is very plain. And then I went back and I decreased a bit to make this around the neck for a little bit of warmth if a person was wearing it out on a chilly day. So that's the only finished object I have. I am working on my item for the bird inspiration for the month, and I will tell you that I made a bit of a change. I'm still going to use the variegated yarn by Savvy Skeins, but the plain yarn I put back in the cupboard. I looked at that yarn and I thought I really, really like it. And I really was in the mood for something fairly easy or straightforward. And I thought that I would really like to make a CJ Brady scarf. But I got looking through her patterns, and most of them, a lot of them I had made before, and I really wanted something different, but I couldn't find something that really suited me. So then I went to Carmen Heffernan. She also does a number of one skein projects, and I found one of hers that I liked. So that's what I'm doing, and I will probably finish it. I know I will finish it later today, but of course you won't get to see it for a couple more weeks. So that's what I am working on at the moment, is my tropical bird inspired item for the month. What else do I want to talk about? First of all, I've got a lot of odds and ends here, but again, I don't think it's going to be as long of a video. I came across this, as you know, I was clearing up things for my friend, and she had been working on this pattern. Now I'm going to hold it up so you can see it quite clearly. I'm guessing it might be a fiber spider pattern, and it looks like a 2-row repeat with these like granny clusters, something in between, and then this looks like a V-stitch. If you know the name of this pattern, would you please tell me in the comments? If you happen to know, otherwise I'll have to take a bit of time to search through Fiber Spider, although she does do patterns from somebody else too, and I can't remember the name. But if this pattern looks familiar to you, would you please let me know, because it's not finished. It's about half the depth you'd like it, and I do have the remaining cake, and I have another one, so I could finish this and then I could put it in our donation pile. So I would appreciate, if you are familiar with the pattern name, if you would let me know. Okay, next thing I want to mention quickly, oh, back here, you would have seen this a few weeks ago, and I was packing these up to go to the craft show this weekend, and I got it in my head, these bandana cowl hoodies, and this one is done in a black and white, and I had sitting there in front of me, for some reason I had it out, I had a white latte cake, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that look nice, wintry maybe, or Christmassy? if I put a couple rows, and I just did one plain row of half doubles, and then I did a row putting 2 half doubles in every stitch. So it makes it a bit wavy. Maybe to get my effect, I should have just done a single stitch, but 2 strands to make it heavier. Uh, anyway, what do you think? Was that a good idea to put, which will be around the face when you put it up over your head, but otherwise it's at the top of the cowl when you're wearing it. So let me know what you think of that idea. I'm hoping somebody likes it and it will sell at the craft show on Saturday. And I have to go Friday afternoon to set up, and it's an hour away, so I have to go and set up, come back. And something else I wanted to show you, and I guess it's an acquisition, but I wanted to talk about, you know what, I'm going to back up for a minute. This poncho, what I neglected to say was it is a scarfie that I used, and I used 2 whole skeins for the body, and then part of a skein, not a lot, for the neck piece. Scarfie in the color denim navy, and scarfie is 78% acrylic and 22% wool, and there are 312 yards in one of these skeins. So I have to get a label on it and get it packed away. Last week, after I taped the show with showing you all the things I was taking, well, it was almost all, not everything. I then spent the next day, probably 2 or 3 hours labeling them all. I have labels like this that I put on. I can put the price on it, and the back is plain, although it did have a printout for the back, but I could never get them matched up. So I just write the fiber content on the back. So all of my items, especially the hand-dyed things with hand-dyed yarn, I want people to know that the prices reflect the fact that they're getting, silk and alpaca and cashmere and whatever else. It's not just your regular department store yarn. And I ordered this from Yarnspiration a couple weeks ago, and it came in last week. And this is Bernat baby blanket, so you know it's quite thick, and number 6, and I'm sure you know that. And I have 6 balls of it, which I hope is enough. I have another niece that is getting married next summer, and she doesn't want all the fuss of all the other. She has an older sister who is married. That's the one that has the baby. And she has 2 older stepbrothers. And when every one of them got married, for a shower gift, I made them a big blanket. Usually I make it out of this, and I make it in the colors of their living room or their couch in the living room. That's always been neutral. So they have a nice big comfortable throw in the living room. So when I saw her at Thanksgiving, I said, I understand you don't want the muss and fuss. She says, no. And I said, so there's no bridal shower. She does not want a bridal shower. She says, what's the point? The 2 of them have been living together for several years. First they were in an apartment, but now they're in a duplex, I believe it is. And she says, we have everything in the house, basically, that we need. So why have a shower? And she doesn't want that fuss. I said, that's fine if you don't want a shower, but you're going to get the same as the others. I made them a blanket, and I'm going to make you a blanket. So I asked her colors and all of that, and she gave me some ideas, and I showed her a color that fit for one of the rooms she mentioned. And I said, do you like it? She said, yeah, I do. That's a good color. but she went through the listing and said she wants to put some vibrant color down in her family room. So she wanted a blanket made out of this. I'm not surprised. She does like these bright kind of colors. So in the new year, I'm going to be starting making a blanket, and I'll probably do the same as all the others and do it in moss stitch. So 6 of these might not be enough. I might have to order a few more. We'll see. That's why I'm going to start early in the year working on that. So that's something that I have planned, and that I just got that in the mail in the last week. Now, something else I want to talk to you about. You may recall in the past that I showed you, I have 3 of them here. I showed you my Letto hooks. One of them is being used upstairs. The number 4 is upstairs. But I have here a number 5. They always came in these felt pouches. And I have I think this is a 7.5, again, pouch. And this one I believe is a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. And I got them in different woods on purpose. And I really, really like these hooks. I like them because they are so super smooth. Your yarn just glides back and forth on them. Now, I purposely ordered the ones that really closely look like furls. See how they have that barrel much the same? Because you know how I like my furls. But there is one thing better about these. Let's compare that. This is a 7 and this is a 7.5. You don't generally see a 7.5. So the barrels are the same, and I do like a bigger barrel than your normal thin metal hooks, but I don't want it too bulbous. I see a lot of them that are very, very thick. This is just perfect. And so are the furls. But the difference is, now they both have what I call a throat, a nice deep throat. But the difference is the top. There is a bit of a point on furls. Now, this one surprises me. It has more point than most do. I have some furls like a number 5 that's very rounded. But with the Letto hooks, Letto, they have much more of a point. I don't know if you can tell how well that's pointed. In the smaller ones, the point is more obvious. And I wanted to get more of these. I only have, well, a 7.5 I don't use very often. I got it because it was a 7.5 and you couldn't get a 7.5 anywhere. But I did get a 4, a 4.5, and a 5. And I thought, they don't make smaller than a 4. I think smaller than a 4 would be very, very hard to carve it small enough. But I thought, I would like a 5.5, a 6, and a 6.5. There are times when I used a 6.5 on this. And there are times when I do need those sizes, but I use a 4, I use a 3.5, which he doesn't make, but a 4 and a 4.5, and I was going to get another 4 and a 4.5. But as you know, I think I told you this, Letto is a company that is, I found them on Etsy, and they are a company that was in the Ukraine. Well, we all know what has happened to the people in the Ukraine. And I kept watching to see what would happen, if he'd be back in business or what. And eventually I saw, I think it was Fiber Spider, there was somebody else that had heard from Alex and his wife and had gotten some hooks. And I went on, he said they aren't on Etsy, they have their own website. And I went on the website, and honestly, I couldn't figure it out because it didn't have a add to cart on the items, and I really wanted some more, and I saw ones I like, so I kept watching and watching. I saw Fiber Spider again, and I thought I got to figure this out. So I went back and I found out you have to put the item in your favorites, and once it's in your favorites, you can then add it to the cart. So I made another order, and I decided I wouldn't make a big order. They didn't have a lot of the size that I wanted, or the size I wanted had a much bigger bulb, you might say. And in fact, he does wood, and then he has, I don't know what it is, vinyl, not vinyl, something you pour. Anyhow, he has a decorative part in the middle, and I went through them all looking, and they now come in these little storage satchels, and the size is attached to the ribbon. So this one is a G, so it's a 4mm. And I guess because it was a 4mm, I took a chance on the size. This is what I mean. It's much fatter here. It's still got my 4 like I like. Nice pointy top. And I got a 4. I'll put this over here. And I got a 5. And you know, if you are a knife hook, you won't have a problem. So there's the 5. Beautiful, beautiful wood. They have, a lot of them have a piece in the middle that's resin. That's the word I'm looking for. It's resin, so it's in a pretty color. I stuck with the wood ones, and I really wanted to get them shaped like what I had had before. And at the moment, the only one I could find was this one. I thought I had ordered 2 like this, like 2 different sizes, and there it is. There's the narrower one, closer to this size. It's a wee bit bigger, but not much, and then it's a bit decorative at the bottom. And this is a 5.5. Excuse me. So I did get one narrower, and my thinking was, well, I'll try out these thicker ones and see if they work. Now this works fine. This is what I'm used to. But I tried to stitch with this, and if you're a knife holder, I don't think you'll find a difference in this. But for me, this is way too big for holding my hand open when I'm trying to stitch. I tried to stitch with this. Maybe I need to try again, and I'll get used to such a big barrel. It is bigger than I like. And this one, I guess they're both really close to the same. They're the same body, just different colors of wood. And then, of course, you can see this is the 4, and this is a 5.5, a 5, a 4 and a 5. You can see the difference. I really, really love their hooks, but I have, as a pencil holder, this is just a wee bit too big for me. I really do need the narrower body barrel there. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love, oh, look at that one. It's lovely. And again, it has the nice point. I'm going to put this, let me put it up here. You see it has a nice thick throat. I like the deep throat of that style, and it has a point at the top, which makes it really good for crocheting with. And as I said, if you are a knife holder, I don't think you're going to notice a lot of difference. But because I have to have it rest here, it really is much bigger than the other one, and I notice it. It's uncomfortable the way it holds my hand apart because I I use my thumb a little bit, and see, this fits right there, and you can see my thumb rests there, and of course my finger is moving up there. So that works well. But in this one, I can't get my thumb down there. This is so much bigger. I can't quite get my thumb where I want it to control it. So I will keep an eye on their site and watch for more that are made like the number 4. Not the number 4, the number 5.5. I'll look for more made like this. But I really, really do like their hooks. They are a little bit on the expensive side, especially especially for Canadian, because they quote their prices in US dollars. And of course, I have to pay in Canadian dollars, which is another 41%. So I will keep an eye out for the smaller ones. These two bigger ones, I will keep. They're gorgeous. I will try again to stitch with the thicker barrel and see if I can get used to it, if I can adjust to it. But like I said, I can't get my thumb where I want my thumb to be. It's just a wee bit awkward. My thumb sticks out. So I will give it a try. Maybe one day you'll see these in a giveaway. I don't know. But I love their hooks. If you're a knife grip, then you would find these really comfortable, beautiful hooks to use for sure. And you will see others that have the resin part in the middle, and they are beautiful. Oh, some really beautiful colors for you to have a look at. But I am warning you, they are a little bit expensive for Canadians, that's for sure. So I'm just going to put these hooks aside. They come with a nice card with a thank you and good wishes. I kind of like these better, but still, they probably couldn't get a hold of this. And I love the hooks I have, but I am going to keep my eyes open for more of the narrow barrels, and then I will order another 4.5 for sure, and maybe a 5. So that's about my Letto hooks. Now we're going to talk about yarn. I have 2 acquisitions. I'm only going to talk about one of them this week, and I'll talk about the other one next week. And then it'll be almost time for our December advent calendars. I got word that my advent calendar from Green Button Jar is going to be probably sent out later this week. So that's all of them now that I'm looking for Christmas, and I'm pretty excited about those. So I don't know if you remember this or not, but a couple of weeks ago I had an order from EFA. And they had a yarn that I really, really liked. Do you remember this yarn? It's called Cosmic Confetti Fingering. So it's fingering weight. That's my favorite weight. And it is made up of merino and polyester. So you wouldn't think it'd feel anything special. But I have to tell you, this feels very soft. This feels almost like the cash silk sock feels. But what I really liked about it is, first of all, see the flex in it? That's probably the polyester, these extra flex. And there is a sparkle in it. You see the sparkle just a wee bit? There was a bit of over the top. See that bit? Looks like it has a halo. And there, oh, look at that. See the blue? I didn't realize this before. There's a blue sparkle. There's some gold sparkle. What I didn't realize before, because I mostly just saw the gold, is I thought it had gold sparkle. But there are actually 3 colors of sparkle in this. But anyway, I think I told you at the time that when I ordered this, I also ordered it in black, or what I thought was black, and it didn't come with my order. Well, I let them know I didn't get it, and they sent it right away. And here are the 2 black ones, and oh, they really aren't black. It's called Dark Halo. This one is called Frosting. And this one is called Dark Halo. And it really reminds me of Raven. It's actually a very dark blue and so dark navy. Not black, but hopefully this one you can see the sparkle in it. There's sparkle there. There is blue, gold. Most of it is gold, but there's also blue sparkle in it. See the blue there? And red. There's red sparkle. See that sparkling there? So there are 3 colors of stellina. And when I'm looking down at it, man, it's just twinkling away. Red, gold, and blue. The filament is different colors. Oh, you see the red there. You see the blue. Absolutely beautiful. I'm in love with it. I thought it was black, but it's not black. It's navy. While I'm talking about black, I wanted to order more of it because I thought it was black. Because I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint for next year. As you know, we're doing butterflies. But it turns out that a lot of butterflies have black in them. Black might be the main color, and then they have another vibrant color with them. It could be white, it could be orange, it could be red, it could be blue, it could be green. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that to be ready for next year, and with Black Friday sales coming up, you might want to take advantage and get yourself some black on sale so you're prepared for next year. You see all that beautiful sparkle? Yeah, this is gorgeous. You can tell it's blue. See? Blue here. And then it's a purpley blue up here. And then it's so dark. It's almost black, but it really is a navy. And I thought it was black. So I won't be getting more of this, but I am going to be stocking up on some black before the end of the year. Not that I don't have some black. Well, what do you know? There's a EFA black, and that's in Blossom Fingering. So I want to make sure I have several different blacks and different weights and so on to use with my projects, because I like working with black. I don't find it particularly difficult. I know some people do, but I don't. Well, look at this. Here's something made in black. So I got this from EFA, and I got my order with, oh, one more thing about this. Every month They come out with a special club. I don't know what they call it exactly, but they have 4 colors every month that they show you the inspiration picture, but they do not show you what color the yarn is. So it's a bit of a mystery. And by buying it, you usually get a gift with it, and they offer a club 10% discount. And I think they usually have a card with a code in it for using later. And this month, the 4 for the club are on this base because they only had white, this color, and I think there was red, but they're out of them. If white comes back, I might get more of it. But anyhow, their special club for this month is on this base. And I looked at the 4 inspiration pictures and I thought, oh, those look really nice. I think I would get colors I like. I don't see a hint of yellow in any of the inspiration pictures, so I think I might get them. So I put them in my cart, and then last Tuesday, and I would go back and look on Facebook for Shandy's video. She does a video every Tuesday at noon. I get it when I get home. She actually showed the 4 colors for the month: red, pumpkin orange, not this color, but a blue and a green, a really, really nice dark green. And I fell in love with all of them. And before I could make my order, the red was gone, but they brought it back. So I have ordered all of them because well, first of all, it's sparkles. You know how I like sparkles, and I really like tweed as well. It feels very, very nice, and I think they will make beautiful items. So I just wanted to mention that. Then from EFA, I made an actual order because I never order just 2 skeins. For those of you in the US, and I know a big percentage of you are, you can order 2 skeins from EFA of something you really like, and it makes enough to do something sizable. For example, this yarn here has the 400 meters or 437 yards. Well, 2 of these will make a shawl, and you know I make a lot of shawls. You can order 2 skeins. It's going to take you over $50, and you will get free shipping. But they do not have that special order for Canada. And I found mostly you had to order 6. Anywhere from 1 to 6 skeins would give you the same shipping. They've actually now, I think, tried to give us a better deal because we can't get free shipping. And I think you can get 7, maybe even 8 skeins at once and get the lowest amount of shipping. And the shipping for the smallest package is $25 and change. Now, it doesn't sound terrible, but 25 US dollars is more than $35. So that's a fair bit in shipping. So I always make sure I order about 5, 6, 7 skeins when I make an order. And as you know, I was watching for Raven. Every fall they come out with Raven, and you saw the shawl I made in September out of Raven. And this year they've put Raven on their yak silk fingering. And I had to order 2 because I have a shawl in mind that I want to make, and here it is. It's not as dark as the one I had in September. The blue is more noticeable, and there's different shades of blue. There's darker. It's not exactly, there's no real black in it. It's just shades from darker to lighter. And yak silk fingering, one of their more expensive yarns, is 50% yak and 50% mulberry silk. So it really feels nice. And it has 457 meters, which is 500 yards, which is more than most of the regular ones do. And I think that's because yak silk fingering is just a wee bit thinner lighter than, say, this one, or Sincere Sock or Cash Silk. They only have 400 meters, but this is lighter in their 100. They never put 100 grams on here, but I know they are. So you get just a wee bit more in your 100 grams because it's a wee bit thinner. So I got these two Raven. Now be watching for me to make something with that, maybe in the new year, because, you know, I'm thinking this might work for one of my monthly cows. So maybe I'll put it in a project bag and we'll get to it at some point. I don't know. We'll think about it. I haven't filled all of my project bags for next year yet. I think I filled about half of them. 2, 4, 5. There's 5 up there filled. Anyway, that is the Raven, and they are out of it, although they had it for pretty much the whole month of October. Now, along with that order, because I had to make it worthwhile, I ordered a few more skeins of yarn. And the first one is this. This, I got, the next 3 are all oopsie. I got oopsie skeins. Might as well get something on sale. I have yet to find an oopsie skein that I didn't like or that looked like it had a real big problem. And they'll say it's oopsie because it isn't quite the color they intended it to be. They used the same formula, but it didn't come out the same. That's one. Other times it can have blobs of color in it that it shouldn't have. Other times they say it could be tangled. Well, I can't tell if this is tangled or not, but it looks pretty comfortable. It looks the way it should be. Anyway, this is Oasis fingering. It's called Light Reading. See, they put oopsie right there on the label so you know it. And Oasis fingering has fast become almost my favorite yarn from EFA. It has 50% camel and 50% mulberry silk with 457 meters and 500 yards. Another one I've always maintained when I'm working with it, that it feels a little bit lighter than some of their others. And 500 yards is good. So that's the first oopsie. And the way I wish I gotten to, because I like to use gray as a neutral to go along with things. Now you can see it's not solid, it's a tonal, but that's okay with me. I really, really like that. And then I have another Oasis fingering here. And this one again is an oopsie. All the same specs. And this is called Cool Blush. Now, this one, although it is tonal, it's pretty close to solid. There's a wee bit of color change in there, but not much. So, Oasis fingering. And the third oopsie that I got is yak silk fingering, which again is 50 yak and 50 silk and 500 meters. And it's in this beautiful, vibrant, rich, really, really rich red. They call it cider house. And again, I don't see a problem with it. Maybe when I unskein it, it'll be twisted. Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's darker than they intended it to be. I don't know. It's a tonal. I think it's a beautiful color for Christmas. And I've been giving some thought to stitching something really nice and putting latte cake with it. Latte cake, though, is a bit heavier. I don't know if it would look good with it or not. But isn't that gorgeous? I think it's gorgeous. So I'm really, really happy with it. See what I can find to put with it. Yak silk fingering. Yak silk fingering and Oasis. One is yak and one is camel. They feel very much the same, so I could combine them in a project. Yay. So that's all I have to show you. A little bit shorter than normal, but I talked enough to drag it out a bit. And I want to mention one more time, and I'll be mentioning this throughout December, because December is coming and you're going to see lots of minis. And I discovered I have way more minis than I thought, but that's not a problem. I like minis and I will do more work with them. Remember, I have links in my description box. I have a link to crocheted patterns that use minis or stashed, leftovers. And I have another link to strictly knit ones. I think there's 400 or 500 knit ones, but there's I think over 100 in the crochet. And every time I see one, I keep adding it to those bundles. So if you're looking for something to make with minis, that's a good place to look. You don't have to go searching because you have to use a lot of different keywords to get what you're looking for. So I just thought I would mention that. I took my October mini set and I split it, and I kept the ones that I really liked the colors, and the other one I have put it with the bag, and I'm going to make that a giveaway, which I meant to do today and I didn't, so we'll see. Maybe next week I'll go back in October and find one. So anyway, that's all. Next week, I'll be able to tell you all about the craft show, how it went. I will take some pictures and let you know how well it went. And will I have a finished object? I tend to doubt that I'm going to have a finished crochet item. I have been working a little bit on diamond painting. I might have a finished item for that. And I do have one more acquisition to show you. And maybe I think has Adam sent me my monthly subscription of minis? I'm not sure. I think he might have. So I might have that as well. So hopefully we will see you back here next week, and I'll have more to share with you. And until then, happy hooking.